So guys, one of the most common questions we get about our programming for the site is, where do I start? What program do I begin with? How do I start my training? And that's a really big question. And every time we get an email like that, we kind of want to put into perspective why we're giving the suggestions that we give to athletes. Now, there are a couple of things that you guys can help you, that you guys can consider to help you make the decision of where to start. The first one is, what equipment do you have available to you? The second one is, what is your current ability, or what is your starting fitness right now? And then third is understanding early adaptations of fitness so that you can understand what program is going to be most efficient for getting those early adaptations, okay? Now, to start with equipment, you may not have any. You could just be using your body. No pull-up bar, no external weight whatsoever. That's obviously going to be a big factor in determining how you're going to start. We have a solution for that. Your starting fitness. Now, a lot of times we get the email that's like, this says, I used to be fit, but now I've kind of let myself go. I want to get back into it. Basically, we're going to say you're starting from zero at that point, okay? If you've taken more than 6 months off of training, you're starting back at zero. Your body is going to make all of those beginning adaptations again. It may accumulate them a little bit faster than before, but you're starting from a 0 point, okay? If you've only had like a month, 2, maybe 3 months off, I would say that your starting fitness is probably going to be a little bit higher, and you're probably still retaining a little bit of the movement ability and coordination that you had before you took that break. And then third is those early adaptations. Again, some adaptations come fast, and some adaptations take a lot of time and more training age before your body really starts to make them. So first of all, let's set up kind of the 3 key components that we're going to need to any sort of adaptation. And they are a sentence that I've broken into 3 different parts. First of all, total cumulative volume at any given intensity determines the degree of that adaptation. Okay? Now, why is that true? That's true because intensity determines the type of adaptation that you're going to get, and the volume determines the amount or how much of that adaptation you're going to get. So, more total cumulative volume means more of that type of adaptation. All right? Now, you have to break out intensity from volume. Okay? Doing more of something is not always better because that could cause your intensity to drop and therefore force a different type of adaptation. Now, what adaptations is your body going to be good at making early on? Number one, it's going to be really good at storing sugar. So it's going to be good at accumulating volume. Your ability to do more volume is largely determined by how much fuel you have available. Second of all, it's going to be good at incorporating its current resources. You have a certain amount of muscle if you're untrained, if your starting point is 0, if you're an untrained individual, you have a certain amount of muscle that your body isn't really utilizing as well as it could. Your central nervous system is going to bring those muscle fibers into the fold quicker than it is to, say, create more or thicken the existing tissue. So we have to understand that inoculating our body to volume is going to be a good adaptation for us to make early, and then also incorporating our existing resources, our existing muscle fibers is going to be another quick adaptation that we can make. All right, so what programs based on our starting fitness and our equipment are going to allow us to get these sort of adaptations that we're looking for? Well, number one, if you have no equipment and no experience, or you have not trained in 6 months, trained in a meaningful way in 6 months, then your best bet is Warrior 1. Okay, it's body weight only. They're shorter sessions, but the volume is going to ramp up progressively in a way that you're going to be able to handle. 2, if you have some equipment and no experience, you got a pair of dumbbells, maybe a kettlebell, whatever, it doesn't matter if this no experience, this not having any sort of training in a while is going to push you into Warrior 1 again. Third, you have no equipment, but you do have some experience. Let's say you've laid off for 2-3 months. Body weight only is a really good program to use, or one of our body weight protocols. We have programs and we also have protocols, all right? Either one of those would be a good place to start. Fourth, you have some equipment and some experience. So you could use our dumbbell program, sandbag program, kettlebell only program or one of those protocols for those things, okay? Fifth, you have a good amount of equipment, barbell, plates, dumbbells, kettlebells, and you have some experience. Then your best bet is going to be new athlete. New athlete is specifically designed to take an athlete who's had a couple months off and bring them up to the level of volume and intensity that we would expect out of our athletes here in this facility. All right, so here are a couple of options, 5 different scenarios for you guys to consider, weigh, and then make a decision. I'm going to provide links to all of these programs on our site in the video description below, so you can click those and have easy access to them. Thanks a lot.